Welcome to DFW Spotlight on Business. This is Heidi Hardy, and it is another beautiful Wednesday. I'm here in the studio with some fun and interesting and informative people. Hi, Jeremiah.
Hello.
And Kim.
Hello.
They're both with Ozment Media, and so we're excited to have you both here. And today's topic is small business ideas, marketing ideas for 2018. So we're going to dig into that, and I think that it's relevant. I actually am having many conversations with people saying, that they're planning to do something different in 2018. So we'll be glad to hear some of the things that you guys would suggest to do. Okay. Jeremiah is the owner of Ozment Media, and Kim is his business development professional. So thank you and welcome. So for those of you who may be new to the show, DFW Spotlight on Business is really focused on business in Dallas-Fort Worth, because there's some unique qualities to doing business locally. I think Dallas-Fort Worth is one of the richest and diverse metropolitan areas, and there's just a lot of business going on here. So for me, the interest is how can we help our business owners like yourself? And then how can we educate them so that they make decisions, based on resources and not necessarily based on having to guess, because sometimes that happens too. Okay, and so I am your host, and I've been doing this for a little while. It's one of the things that I really, really enjoy. You would call it my passion. I love doing live broadcast radio and bringing in interesting people and their stories. I also enjoy podcasting. So the company that I have is called Real Life Media, and we really specialize and focus on helping people get their message out. So from an audio format, and we'll talk a little bit more about audio format as I did in 2018. Let me put my glasses on. Probably should have started with them.
That works.
Yes. All right. This little disruption here.
Oh my goodness.
I know.
We were having too much fun before the show.
I could have made it bigger on my computer, but it was easier to put my glasses on. So I wanted to also make sure to thank our sponsor today. I'm excited. We're sponsored by Mirepoix Catering. If you're having a holiday party or a wedding or a small dinner at home or just a party, contact Chef Matthew Steinley at Mirepoix Catering for all your event needs at 214-801-5008. Now, Chef Matthew has worked at restaurants Charlie Palmer's in Dallas, Lonesome Dove in Fort Worth, so he's top notch. Absolutely. I love Lonesome Dove. So please give Matthew Steinley a call at 214-801-5008. And that's Mirepoix Catering. I love catering companies because they make my life a lot easier when I'm hosting a party or something. So this is a small business owner here in DFW, and we're proud to have him as our sponsor on the show.
Yay.
I know. And part of what you do is help them advertise and market.
Yep.
So if you can, please like us on Facebook, DFW Spotlight on Business. Also, go to Twitter at Heidi_Hardy and tweet something. We also have reallifemediallc.com, and the heading is Talk Radio, because I've done a couple of talk radio shows, and so there's a couple of options to look at there. Okay, we're going to move on down. So Jeremiah, I'm going to introduce you with your bio, which I enjoyed, and both of you. One of the things that I've grown to appreciate about Jeremiah, as we met in a networking environment, and we'll be talking about networking as part of marketing and branding. But I've grown to appreciate that he is a father, and not just a father, but he is an advocate for his kids, and you can see it on all his social media. And I really have grown to appreciate those cute pictures.
Cheer dad, dance dad, any other type of dad.
Yeah.
Don't really matter.
It seems like you're having so much fun.
Oh my God! Check me out on Instagram. You would get a die off those pics. But no, honestly, it's just as much fun for me as it is for the kids.
Yeah,
and it's fun for us because he brings them to work sometimes.
Oh my God! You're talking about my kids have personality.
Fun. Yeah,
I love it.
Well,
they don't have no shy bone in their body. Unfortunately.
Well, do they take after you or mom?
Well, probably more so me.
Yeah.
More so.
It's fun to have a part in your family's life, and being a business owner, that's not always easy. It's it's great that you balance your life. So he's a proud and dedicated father of two wonderful princesses, and he's been married for 13 years. He's a graduate of University of North Texas with a major in finance and minor in economics, accounting, and sociology. He is a member of the Northwest
Northeast.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, we have to correct because Northeast Chamber.
They're gangs. And
I actually get a big giant kick out of it because of the fact I actually love that chamber. I've been members of various other chambers, but to me, chambers of commerce can be very fruitful.
Yes.
Within trying to generate additional business for a local small company.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been very fruitful for me, and that's why I've been pretty much 100% referral based for the last several years.
Yeah. No, and again, we're going to talk about that. And one of the reasons I invited you is you're having success in those areas, and there are some businesses, many businesses, who would argue with you that those aren't successful ways to market. And so, you sharing your experience is going to help some of those businesses perhaps join chambers, be more supportive in their community. So he is a member of the Northeast Tarrant Chamber of Commerce, sales enthusiast, network marketer, professional, and proud owner and operator of Ozment Media. Welcome. Kim Peterson. Kim, so I don't know if there's words to describe Kim's personality. She is a light and fun and funny and professional and full of great information. So I'm so excited to have you here as well, Kim. Kim has been in business since 1977. She's been an entrepreneur for 95% of her adult life. In construction industry, interior design industry, marketing industry, direct sales, and networking since 1999. It's pretty impressive.
And fun.
Yeah. You've done.
And fun.
And fun.
Oh my God.
And fun.
She goes
if you
by,
can't have fun, why bother? You've got to have fun.
And she goes by Dorothy.
Yes.
Then why have I been calling you Kim all this time?
Okay. Because it's my new persona since Jeremiah. I refer to him as the Wizard of Ozment Media. Therefore, I am his Dorothy.
Okay, now that makes sense.
Yeah.
I got you on that.
However, I go by Sweetness. I don't go by Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, which is
completely more left field. But I also have found that whenever you have a nickname within your own business or within your own industry, you become a lot more profitable as well because more people are more likely to remember you and actually use you versus trying to think about your competition.
So it's personal branding, professional branding,
correct.
Having a name that you're associated with.
Because if you work within the Northeast Tarrant corridor, I mean, if you say, hey, who's Sweetness? They will point you in my direction. And at least majority of people even know my cell phone number personally.
And they probably put Sweetness in the name. Some people probably don't even know your real name.
Unfortunately, that is the case. A lot of people don't even know my real name.
I mean, that you have a persona, and I don't disagree that branding is very important. And again, we'll talk about how that has been a success for you. To me, business is there's no like. I wish there was a cookbook, right? I wish there was a formula or a recipe where I could say, okay, if you did this. Guaranteed 100% going to taste great. It's not. And the thing is, you got to throw in these ingredients to make your own.
Well, the old cookbook I used to call it was the Yellow Pages.
Oh, yeah.
The dreaded thing that everybody hated on their doorstep. Because back in the day, like I grew up in a family company. We had a gutter company. Literally, if we had an ad in the phone book, we knew the phone was ringing. And we knew as when the book literally hit the street, because the day the book hit the street, we got tons and tons and tons of calls. So depending on the size of the ad is depending on how much work we got.
Right.
But after 3 to 4 months on the street, the book lost its potency. So we had to get a next book, and a next book, and a next book. But then when the invention of the internet came about, that really didn't affect the Yellow Page industry at all. It was actually when the invention of the iPhone hit the market back, I believe, in 2008, 2007.
Yeah.
That was the date that literally Yellow Pages became non-existent
Yeah.
because they connected the internet into your palm of your hand and made the Yellow Pages no longer relevant.
That's so interesting to me. And again, what's interesting about that is there are some business owners that have been doing business for 20, 30, 40 years. And in their mind, their marketing plan is maybe that old. And so one of the things that I want to make sure that we bring into the conversation is, how do we, it's okay. I mean, if you still want to list in a Yellow Pages like print ad, they're out there, and it's not a terrible idea, especially if it's local. But there are other ways to throw in better ingredients maybe now that might be helpful. So thank you for that, because I remember when.
Back in the heyday?
Yeah, I remember getting that book, and I remember thinking,
I just always loved the muscle men that go to their schools. You take the Los Angeles Yellow Pages, which is about that big, and they will tear them in half. The only place I actually still see Yellow Pages still relevant nowadays, though, is more the rural markets, more than anything else. Like some of my clients out in Georgetown, Fredericksburg, Marble Falls, Amarillo, some of them still get benefit out of the Yellow Pages.
Sure, absolutely.
But none of the people I know here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, because it's just not cost effective.
Yeah, and that, what, that makes sense, and a lot of people would say that that's going to be the case in for many years until people who there's going to be a generation of people who don't even know what the Yellow Pages were. So
it's already there.
Yeah. Well,
especially when
true.
you talk to millennials. I showed a millennial a phone book the other day. They said, "What's that?"
You barely missed the millennial mark, so
oh my
sir.
God! Don't do that. No.
Okay, so this is the part of the show. I also want to mention that this show is supported by Insperity. And Insperity is an amazing company. Insperity is an HR outsourcing company. I just had a fantastic meeting with a couple of businesses this past week. And, businesses struggle sometimes with HR, payroll, employee health benefits. And when you have full-time employees that you're managing and you're taking care of, if you take that off your plate by going to a company like Insperity, it does free up time to build your business in a different way. So we appreciate it. Thank you so much, Insperity. Our commercials are Insperity based, and they're all very, very good. So we appreciate that Insperity is here with us as well. All right. One of the things that I do, it's called DFW Spotlight in the Know, and we talked a little bit about this right before the show. Is I like to go to some of the Forbes or some areas online and just kind of pull up what's trending in the topic that we have. And one of the articles that I found is in Forbes magazine, and it's called Top 3 Disruptive Marketing Trends for 2018. So I think I'm gonna gloss over number 1 a little bit, and certainly if there's something you want to add to that, you're welcome to do that. Number 3 was really interesting to me, and so and Jeremiah, you had a couple of comments that I thought was spot on and good. So the number 1 here. And disruptive marketers should keep the top of mind in 2018 to ascend the corporate ladder, shake things up, and drive towards unprecedented success. So from a marketing standpoint, number 1 is move from cause to brand purpose and place it at the heart of the business strategy. I'm not sure. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, depending on what the objective of the company is, but what I found traditionally within that type of platform, when you start talking about from cause to the heart of the brand purpose, is you have to use a lot of different form of creative advertising, which can become very costly for your everyday small mom and pop business.
Right.
This is more the mission statements and stuff like that for like Pepsi's and Coca-Cola's and Dell's and American Cancer Societies. These are the ones that actually are trying to sometimes reinvent their image in order to fundraise or gain additional market share.
Sure. And I think that's a great distinction. There is a small business marketing plan, right? And it's not enterprise necessarily.
I mean, they could pull it off, but that's being more part of the Chamber of Commerce's, being part of it, highly interactive within their local community, which most of these small mom and pops I work with, they just don't have the time.
They don't have the time. Would you agree, Kim?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. They need to get out and network and meet people, but they're behind the desk, behind the counter, actually cranking out whatever the product is, and they don't have time to do it.
Right. And there's I think there's baby steps to a small business owner, and as they grow, they have the means to hire marketing firms or media firms like yours to help them with those things. So number 2 here is drive towards engagement of the heart. I like that. But it's, just your marketing should be more emotionally charged is what I get from this article.
Well, truthfully, the only thing I think about is that Walmart movie where that lady had a baby in Walmart.
I don't remember that movie.
Seriously?
No.
It's Where Your Heart Is? Sorry, I guess that's a little cheesy. But
no, I mean, I'm sure I would have remembered it, but but if you remember, it worked, right? Because it was an advertisement.
Well, when you start trying to more into an engagement format, that is like one of the local new buzzwords within the arena. Mm-hmm. It's like, well, what is your consumer engagement? What's your interaction rate? And there's honestly so many different ways you can rephrase it. But the thing is, honestly, only thing that matters is, does it pay off? Do you make profit? And is there a return on investment?
Right. Well, what they're saying, and I don't disagree with you, when we talk about investing money in any kind of marketing, you want to know those things. But what they're saying is that, maybe go away from the sterile 2-sentence sort of message to a more connected, emotional message.
Well, that's with your content marketing strategy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Trying to be more just like the average website that I traditionally build for a client, your typical marketing company out there builds between a 5 to 8 page website. My typical client has anywhere between 10 to 20 to 50 to 80 pages. Reason behind that is strictly because the way we search, the way we interact with the web, and the way we talk to one another each day, the algorithm's continuously changing. So is our point of interest. So if we do not actually supply the content in the way they like to have it delivered, we will not get the engagement we're looking for.
I completely agree. I think there's a lot of pages, but I agree that there's an algorithm out there. There's a way to use SEO, and that's one of the things that you guys consult with businesses all the time about. So number 3 is, remember that customers today don't buy into things; they buy into stories brought to life through a strategic mix of creativity and technology. I love that one. And let me tell you why I love it. Because that's what we're talking about here.
Oh my goodness.
If you have a message and you want that somebody to pay attention to your message, there are ways to do that. You can create a show like this, and it's informative. It's inviting business owners on. It's connecting communities. You can create a podcast. You can create a video, a blog. There are a lot of things business owners are probably missing because they're not being creative enough with their technology. Would you agree?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. People buy from emotion.
Yeah.
They shouldn't all the time, but we do. We buy emotionally, and we buy from people we know, love, and trust. Mm-hmm. And if the mom and pop are behind the counter, they've got social media. They need to create a brand and a persona to draw people in. Yeah. And that is one thing I look for, is something that I can relate to when I purchase something.
Absolutely. And there's a good feeling about supporting your local community and the e-commerce or the commerce that's out there. Well, this is where we break and we have our first commercial, and we're going to come back and we're going to talk about Ozment Media, what you guys do, and really dig into the good stuff. And I wanted to, right before we go, to say thank you to the elf over here. She's lovely. Goodness. She's watching us.
Her name is Herself My Elf.
Herself My Elf?
Well, I love it.
What the heck?
And I've got my candy cane. So we'll be right back. This is Heidi Hardy, DFW Spotlight on Business. We'll be right back.
Hi, welcome to today's Biz Moment, brought to you by Insperity, inspiring business performance. Today's topic is employee engagement. It's a good thing. But a bad thing is bad management. We all know. Boo. It's typically the root cause of employee engagement problems. Let's talk about what not to do, and then let's talk about how to fix it. Number 1, you should not have erratic expectations. For example, Don't wait until an employee has finished a project before asking them to redo the entire thing. Like, what a bummer, right? You can turn it around, though, by making your expectations known frequently, always acknowledging any change in your expectations, and being predictable, which sounds super boring in life, but in management, it's a good thing. Number 2, showing favoritism. Of course, we like it when it's shown to us, but it's really not fair, and you know that already. It's when you treat similar behaviors from different employees with different responses. What you should be doing is being consistent with your reactions, the amount of information you share with everyone, and to be fair in all your interactions. And this is just sort of a metaphor for life. Just be fair. Don't show favoritism, especially if you're a parent, but that's another subject altogether. Number 3, micromanaging. It's the monster in the room, and we don't want anything to do with it. It's when you attempt to control every detail of an employee's work, and it's the worst, and you know it's the worst. Do not tell them how to dot their I's or cross their T's. They went to school, okay? Instead, try to trust the judgment and work of your employees. That is why they are there. Let go of details that can be handled by others. It is totally liberating to just let it go. Number 4, what not to do. Don't be unapproachable. It's not good for anybody. You can turn it around, however, because you can make sure there are plenty of interactions between direct managers and their teams. Of course, if that direct manager is you, that means you and your team. Because this is important, it's the number 1 driver of employee engagement, according to certain studies. So science says it's the thing to do, and you need to do it. Number 5, burnout. Watch for anyone on the team that seems overworked or overwhelmed, even yourself. You can prevent it, though. Leaders working manageable hours have employees that are more engaged and fulfilled. Encourage the use of vacation days, workplace perks, and try to avoid sending work-related emails after hours. I mean, no one wants to have to read their work emails when they are sitting on a beach in Cancun drinking a margarita. Am I right? I'm so right, and you know it. Stay tuned for more Insperity Biz Moments, business tips for savvy leaders.
And welcome back. This is Heidi Hardy, and you're listening and watching DFW Spotlight on Business. We are here in the studio in On Air Media Studios, and thank you to them. They're fantastic. With Jeremiah Ozment and Dorothy.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And if you missed it, Dorothy is a nickname because she is working with the Great Oz.
Yes. Yeah, and I go by Sweetness.
Yeah.
Which, again, branding and that technique has really worked for your business. I wanted to start this part of the show with just an opportunity for maybe you, Jeremiah, to tell us why. I always ask business owners, why are you in business and how did that come about? And tell us the story of how Ozment Media was created.
Okay. I'm very shy. I have a hard time talking.
Yes.
Oh, my God. But, all right, number 1. All right, let me see. Okay, now I got my thoughts together. All right. Sorry, I just always in a goofy mood. Anyway, so like I mentioned a little bit earlier, I grew up in a family company. A family company, when you grow up by the invoices that you collect upon, it's a life. It's either you pay your bills or you don't. You either get repoed or you don't. And when you live by the sword, by your reputation, by the customer service that you provide in order to take care of your family, you have a certain amount of respect for the everyday working man.
Sure.
So whenever I got out of college, I went actually to try to do long-term care and all that stuff, life insurance. Then 9/11 happened. Everybody has their own story about 9/11, but it was weird that day. I was actually on the phone when the towers were getting struck. And I'm calling everybody to set appointments for me to go sell insurance. And everybody's like, boy, why don't you call me? You need to be going to enlist in the military. You need to go enlist. You need to go enlist. Well, needless to say, all my policies canceled. A lot of my friends enlisted, and a lot of them served. I was actually just recently married, so I actually ended up working for a financial company, which led me into working for a company called, at the time being, what I got hired by, which shortly became something else, which was GT Directories, I believe. Then it became Verizon Yellow Pages. I worked at Verizon Yellow Pages, which became various names. Like, I like to make fun. They use a made up name that they gave it, but I'll use the proper names. ID Arc, Super Media. Now it's called Super Dex, and with Dex YP. I honestly don't know the name nowadays. It's irrelevant. They go through bankruptcy, come out every few years. But when I went there, I realized that I like working with the everyday mom and pop like myself, what I grew up in. So when I went out on my own, I had to figure out my own voice, my own vision of where I want to go. And I decided the only people I really want to talk to is the mom and pop. And the average mom and pop client I work with, they don't have huge budgets. Back in the old Yellow Page days where you're like, hey, I need you to pay me $1,000 a month for this ad. Like, what am I getting? Oh, you're getting this little half page right there, right here.
Yeah.
Or maybe 400 for this quarter page. And like, well, what type of results? Nothing. Only guarantee you get is I put it in the book.
Right.
And it's inked.
Right.
We get a call. There's no guarantees.
There wasn't a lot of choices.
There wasn't back in the day.
I mean,
so when I created when I hung up my shingle and actually started my own agency, my whole footprint and my own vision with this is to pretty much give all the big guys a run for the money by being the small to medium sized ad agency that every small mom and pop business need and deserve. So I do a lot of, besides doing digital marketing where I build websites, search engine optimization, local listings, social media, and a variety of other things within the platform like Google AdWords and stuff. I also make sure I help facilitate like trade show materials, print brokering. I even have agreements with people like yourself, which I love this type of media personally. But I also do a variety of other things, and with also broker various other services because mom and pop, since they have very limited funds, we work within their budget in order to make them prosper.
right. Do you find that challenging? Is there a unique challenge to working with the small mom and pop? When you say small mom and pop, help us understand the business size. What they look like?
What I call mom and pop, my largest client has maybe at the most 15 employees.
Okay.
The average maybe at 15, 20, but the majority of them is less than 10.
Okay.
And these are your main street businesses that most large marketing companies will put their nose up towards. They may not say they will, but these are the people that cannot really afford $1,000 a month marketing campaign. They just can't.
Right.
So when you have their huge budget restraints, you have to be very creative of what your approach may be. And that's what I really try to find out each client's secret sauce. Mm-hmm. Because I have found that even though there's a lot of cookie cutter plans out there that I could utilize, which a lot of market companies would say, oh, you need a website, you need this, you need this, you need that, which there's a lot of truth to all that. However, what I found at every single business I work with thus far, what I think will work is not always the case. And so therefore I had to be very adaptive in order to make sure all my clients are happy.
Now, so what I heard you just say is that most of these small businesses that you're working with, because not every person you meet with is a client. So you're talking to many people. I know Kim talks to many people. They have an idea of what they think they want, and so you go in and consult with them, take that into consideration, and then put something together for them.
Well, yes and no. Let me tell you a story.
Okay.
So,
I love stories.
Yeah.
I'll tell you about a client last week I met with. I met with this brand new concept here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I actually thought it was amazing. The guy I met with is, I like to call these people the idea people. He's very excited, like, oh my God, we're going to change the world. Oh my God. Yep. And he's very passionate. He's like,
it's contagious.
Let me go to this. Oh, you see this? Oh, this is what we do here. Okay, great. You go over here. Oh my God. Da da da. I was like, great. Man, my God, you're amazing. You're the best. Oh, okay, I got it. Now, what are we doing to actually get somebody to pay us? Well, so how many students you got now? Well, about 30. So based upon your deal, you should be making around $3,000 to $5,000 a month of revenue. So you probably need to generate another 5 to 6 in order to break even. Well, yeah, that'd be great so you're not getting paid. Well, since it's brand new, we just gave it away. I'm like, okay. So how are you actually trying to sell it? And he's like, well, I just been telling people price. I'm like, it took you 45 minutes to explain this concept to me, just for me to even understand what you had to offer. And I'm actually your target demographic. I didn't even have a clue what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So in order for me to work with you, then we need to have some proper boundaries set up front, because I could be like another vendor or another marketing company. I could take your money, be able to get people to call you, get people to walk through the door. God bless, and who cares?
Right.
But you won't be able to close them because there's only one of you. So if me and you work together, then I need to make sure that we have developed a system in place to where if you die tomorrow, that the business can still be ongoing even if you're not present. Because you can't spend 45 minutes with every single person who walked through the door. It's just not humanly possible, nor does everybody want that. When they come in and ask for pricing or ask what it's about, they just really want to know what it's about. So in order for me to work together within the first 6 months of working together, I need us to build a story room to where we can guide people through the user experience in a nice systematic format in order for me to work with you properly and ethically and to make sure you can actually convert these clients.
Okay. Wow.
And
That's a great story. No,
this happened last week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great story because it's real.
Yeah.
I don't know who you're speaking of, but I would tell you that the people that I meet with to talk about as a business advisor, I meet with a lot of people. There is a dream. Many of them get loans, or they're being financed, or they have investors, and they're very excited. What I think is interesting about your approach is not only are you saying, hey, I can get you a website, I can get you some social media, but you're giving them business advice. You're saying, let's focus over here so that my services are going to be more valuable to you because of the advice and the system. Systems are a big deal for small businesses, but the system will work. That's what I heard you say.
Right.
That's fantastic.
But besides that, since the fact my background is very more diverse than most of the marketing companies I go against, most of the people within the space that I operate within, I like to call them more introverted. Best way to phrase.
Sure.
And when you're introverted, you traditionally are a very great technician. Besides me being a technician, I'm also a great salesperson. So when I was actually hanging out with one of my clients the other day, and they were having a hard time closing a client. I was like, "Hey, you missed it." And he's like, "What are you talking about?" I said, "All right, do you mind?" He's like, "What are you talking about?" So I just went over there, started talking to the client, closed the contract.
Yeah.
I was like, "Here you go." He's like, what do I owe you? I was like, "You already paid me, dude.
Yeah.
I don't really need no more money."
So Jeremiah, I'm getting the picture of your services, and that is it's holistic. You're doing more than just pushing media or marketing. You're walking in and really identifying different parts of the businesses that you can help.
And that's if the owners allows us to.
Sure. Well,
But
you have to have some trust to do what you just said you did. I mean,
and the thing is, it's like, since I work with a lot of these companies very closely and very personally, I mean, I already know their pricing. Most of the time, I already know what the products and services are because I've developed all the materials and all the content for it. Actually, 9 times out of 10, they don't. I have this one client, I won't say his name, but he has right now probably over 100-page website. And if you ever ask him if he ever looked at his website, he will probably say, "I know it exists." I was like, "Okay." If you ask him where he get all his work, he's like, "Off the internet." He's like, "So okay, so what page?" He don't even ask him what page they come from, what city. All he knows is he gets phone calls.
Right.
And I'm like, "Dude, can you at least go spell check it?" He's like, "Yeah, it looks pretty." I'm like, "Great. When was the last time you looked at it?" "Oh, what year is it?" I'm like, "Are you serious?"
Yeah. No.
I said, "Now you owe me
true.
beer. Now you owe beer. Now you're buying me lunch because you do not read the content I asked you to read." And
He trusts you. He doesn't have to read it.
well, granted, but the thing is, even though I'm very confident in what I do, and I'm very confident in the results I provide. Even now and then, there's mistakes can happen, and I don't ever want to be the root cause or the blame of anything.
Sure.
So therefore, I tell every single client I work with, I said, it's your ultimate responsibility to go back and double check everything I do, because the bottom line is, if I want your company, I can go start one. I don't want to own your company.
Right. It's not right.
So to me, I'm a vendor. I treat myself as a vendor, and when we separate from the vendor business relationship, I call it a divorce. Because what most people do not realize when it comes to marketing companies is when marketing companies work with the small mom and pop, we are the ones that traditionally, depends which company they are, they will go in and claim the entire identity of the business. They will claim all their social media accounts. They will claim all their local listing. They will claim their website. They will claim their URL. Anything and everything that's tied to that business, they own.
Yeah.
no questions asked. And if they sever ties, like yesterday, I was actually had to call another competitor. I say, hey, I need to get this domain transferred. Well, that's $50. I'm like, $50 for what? Well, transfer fee. I'm like, never heard that mess in my life because that's a free process. Which to me was more an aggravation cost, which I understand that. I mean, they should call it aggravation cost. But they say, well, they should be happy that we're allowing them to have it. I'm like, happy?
Yeah.
You had their website for 6 years, and you're saying they should be happy? They get to keep their URL? Is this a joke?
Yeah. Yeah.
But
well, we're getting close to the next break, so I don't mean no. I mean, this is good information because here's the thing. There's real life business, and doing business with within our community is incredibly important. I have had that experience where it was really difficult to get the domain shift and change, and it is not pleasant. And it's critical business. To understand what your marketing company is doing and owns. Great story. One of the things when we get back, and we'll have more time when we get back, is I want to talk about what you said. Hey, there's a technician in there, and they're introverted, and then there's owners that are great salespeople. I want to hear from Kim and yourself. What are you doing out there in your marketing your business that's creating this business and sales? So you're watching DFW Spotlight on Business, and this is Heidi Hardy. We will be right back after this break.
Hi, welcome to today's Biz Moment, brought to you by Insperity, inspiring business performance. Today's topic, employee development plans. The key to success from a manager's point of view is proper planning, clear direction, and the end result is a win-win. Yay! Who doesn't like it when everyone wins? Here are some questions to ask before you get started. And the first is, what are your business goals? Think about both long and short-term objectives. Write them down, even if you need a pen and paper. Sometimes that's the best way to do it. And then figure out what skills or knowledge your employees would need to meet those goals. Number 2, what are your employees' goals? That's kind of important to know, right? Meet with each team member face to face. There's nothing like old-fashioned communication. Ask them about the career goals. Would they even be open to learning new skills? Number 3, how do you determine which skills your employees need help learning? By making sure they're smart. And SMART is in all capital letters because S stands for specific, M stands for measurable, A, attainable, R, relevant, T, timely. Don't you just love a good acronym? Number 4, how do you put this into action? Consider all the possibilities for helping your employees acquire these new skills. Will that be in the form of formal training? Will it be reading, working with experts, one-on-one coaching and mentoring? Once you've figured out the learning channels, finalize a plan with a schedule or timeline. You don't want this to go on forever, right? Number 5, how will you apply these new skills in the actual workplace? Well, I'll tell you. Set up as many opportunities as possible for employees to apply the new skills to their job. There's no time like the present, especially when that knowledge is nice and fresh. Stay tuned for more Insperity Biz Moments, business tips for savvy leaders.
Yay.
And welcome back. This is Heidi Hardy. You're watching DFW Spotlight on Business. We do business in DFW, and business is good. We do. I do business in DFW. I know you guys do as well. And so if you're just joining us, we are talking about marketing in 2018. Jeremiah Ozment and Kim Peterson are here with us as our guests. They are part of Ozment Media, and we've pretty much talked about, which I do appreciate, Jeremiah. We were talking during the break. I think stories do illustrate some of the people that you're working with, and some of the hiccups that they go through. I will tell you, I owned a small business, and I had a guy walk in, and he showed me a Dallas Cowboy calendar. I was in Arlington, and right by the stadium, and he said, for $600, I can get you advertised on this calendar. And I had a pretty healthy marketing budget. So I was like, that might be good for the Dallas Cowboys. That dude walked away with my money. There was no calendar. I was a sucker. And I can laugh about it now, but $600 for small business owners.
That's a lot of money.
It is. So if we can stop that from happening by having these conversations, I think it's important. Some of the things that you said that I want to reiterate, Jeremiah. One is make sure you understand when somebody does a website for you or your social media, make sure you understand what they're responsible for and what they own and what you own. Because it's true. A lot of people will say, hey, I'll get that domain for you. And it is in their company's name, not in your name. And if you do cut ties with that media marketing company, you don't own that domain, they do. And
that's why every single time I buy a domain on behalf of a client, I make sure I charge them the domain. Everybody's like, why don't you charge me a domain fee? I'm like, strictly, I'm charging what I'm paying.
Right.
I really don't care about the money. It's just strictly there has to be a record that you paid for it.
Right. Absolutely.
And it must be also a record that you pay a renewal fee for each and every year, because if not, I technically never have to release it.
Sure. We've been talking about some of the things that happen for small businesses from a marketing standpoint, but we did promise. Look how funny my ear's not working over here.
Oh my God.
Too much fun during the commercial.
She might need to go back to powder room.
I do. I have to go to the bed. But we did promise that we would give people ideas and tips about what they could add into 2018. So I want to take the rest of our time today to talk. First of all, I want to talk networking. And this lady, this beautiful lady over here, is one of the best networkers, or the hardest working networkers in the DFW area. I see her everywhere. And what I appreciate about that, Kim, is that you do it she doesn't have this agenda. She comes in and she's genuinely trying to build relationships. So can you give us maybe the 2-minute, what you do, why you do it, and why it works?
I have the best job in the world. It is fantastic. I go and I meet all these wonderful business owners who have all these dreams, and I get to learn about them. I certainly, want to help them with our services if we can. If they need us, they may be just fine, and that's fine. But I like recommending people. I've been in business since '77, and the thing that breaks my heart is watching businesses go up, like downtown Grand Prairie where I grew up. And I'm like, I can't go. I'm too tired. I'll go tomorrow. And then I decide, okay, I can go. And they're closing or they're closed.
Right.
All their money just went down the drain.
Right.
Their marriages end. Their self-esteem is gone. I like going and building people up and connecting people to the right people to make their businesses succeed.
Yeah.
And that is my passion.
Right. And it's why you network.
That's why I network.
So the definition of network for Bob Berg, he wrote The Go Giver, is you go in there to build relationships. You're not handing out your business card. You're not trying to sign them up for the latest and greatest service or product. You are asking them questions.
Yeah, it's not sit down at a one-on-one and go, I'll buy your product if you'll buy my service.
And that happens in networking.
It happens a lot, and it's not fair to new networkers.
Right.
Because I've talked to several of them. They're like, I don't want to go back. I mean, these people just want me to buy their stuff. I don't need it. I don't know what to say.
Right.
And one thing that I have run across, which is my heart, which is something I'm doing in 2018, is a ladies-only networking group. I'm running into a lot of women who are, because for one reason or another, are reps.
Yeah.
And they don't know the first thing about selling. They know how to make friends. They don't have the right mindset, and they don't understand, and people just gobble them up.
Right.
So that's something I want to help women learn how to ask for the sale, know when not to ask for the sale, and know how to defend themselves when they come up against mean people.
Yeah, well, and okay, so networking as a strategy for small businesses is a strategy. You can add that to your business plan, your marketing business plan. The thing that I would say, because I'm a big networker as well, is you have to, it is more of a drip than a flow of business. And if you go in knowing that you're more likely to feel successful and less likely to run into those mean people, because you have the mentality that networking is about building relationships. Jeremiah, one thing that I want to say about your networking style and what you've created with your persona, your sweetness, I'm sweetness, is that people do now recognize you and what you do, even if it's, because you're a speaker and you have a gregarious.
We're using dictionary words now.
Yeah,
yay!
$10 words. But sort of a personality where you're coming in and you're talking to everybody. They remember you for that, but they also remember you because you're branding yourself.
Well, yeah, but you have to also think about this with my everyday mom and pop. With these small businesses, I call it strategic networking.
Yes, I would agree. 100%.
So whenever you only have a certain amount of time, if you partner yourselves or go after the people who can deliver you the desired clients that you're looking for, that is usually 10 times more fruitful than actually just doing your own networking.
I agree.
So personally, myself, like whenever I go to general networking groups, I find B2B reps all the time in groups. I love B2B reps. God bless y'all all. If y'all want to contact me, reach me out on Facebook and Instagram. But sorry, I couldn't reach it.
No.
I love B2B reps.
I do too.
They're the lifeblood of my business because I'm 100% referral based. So the reason behind that is because I know how to build long-term profitable relationships. And if you are able to build the right relationship, it can be like a water faucet. You turn it on, you just keep on pouring. Hence why when you think about the medical field, we have pharmaceutical reps. We have like the sales reps for doctor's offices and stuff like that.
IT is that way as well. It's a relationship. It's trust.
It's all the same thing. That is strategic networking to turn on the waterfall.
But I would say, and I'm not arguing with you, other than I would say it doesn't happen the first time you meet somebody.
It don't happen immediately, but it can happen over a course of time.
Sure.
But that's where, to me, when networking is more of a chess game. You have a few of your pawns, you got your bishops, you got your knights, you got your rooks, you got your kings and queens. And depending on what you're trying to accomplish is depending on what type of game plan you should have set up to attack it with.
I would agree 100% that there's got to be some strategy when you're networking. So networking is one of those things, and I'm going to move us along into one of the things that Jeremiah offers is text marketing, text through marketing,
text message marketing.
Message marketing. I love that. I don't like getting a lot of text messages, but I love the idea that you can and strategically use that type of medium. Talk to us a little bit about why people would use text message marketing.
Well, if you think about, again, let's just go through the transitions of the marketing as a whole. A lot of people used to not have websites, and we made websites. Great, I have a website. It was ugly, but I have a website.
There was an ugly website.
Then we made a nice and pretty one. Great, we got nice and pretty. So we got the best website in the middle of a desert. No one can find me, but I got a great looking website. Great, you're still out of business. But then it transpounded to where people started talking about search engine optimization. Then email marketing came about. Email marketing is still highly effective, but not as effective as it was about 5 years ago, because of all the spam restrictions and all that stuff.
Yes, I would agree.
But during that time period when all the spam filter stuff come out, they were starting to immediately shift over to the mobile devices and started creating all these text platforms. And what they found was a lot of people did not have unlimited data, so there was a lot of restrictions to it. So the government placed a restriction on what we can and cannot do in the form of texting, which was recently repealed. So all the bold reasons of what we could not do, now we're allowed to do. That's why a lot of people now commonly are now starting receiving all these random text messages to their mobile devices, and they never even signed up for anything because there is no government regulation anymore towards it. So literally anybody could take your cell phone, upload it to a list, and start texting you tomorrow, and there's nothing you can do about it. But there is best practices with it. There is companies out there that got your little basic 4-digit, 5-digit, 6-digit short codes. The service I actually offer that I actually help resell, they offer a 10-digit number, which enables us to be additional phone line to the business, which enables us to direct those phone calls that come onto that line to any landline or cell phone to whoever is an authorized user of that business. To me, for a mom and pop, my God, that is probably the most powerful tool in the world. The reason is when they go on vacation, so does their cell phone. And if you know anything about the nowadays businesses, pretty much probably 95% of all new businesses are started with a cell phone number. And so when they go on the vacation, so does the business. This gives them another avenue. If they brand that number, utilize that number, their business does not have to go vacation with them. Their business can stay in business while they're on vacation.
Absolutely. And so I love the idea of adding text messaging marketing to the 2018. I do think that there has to be a strategy. Somebody like yourself needs to be able to consult with a company. Mm-hmm. One of the things that some companies do very well is they collect information from their clients. Right. I have a dentist who sends me a text message and says, your appointment's next week. And I love that because it's reminding me. My hairdresser does the same thing. So there is a reason to do that.
Well, I call them there's 4 main reasons why we have text. Mm-hmm. We have our community service announcements. Mm-hmm. God bless you. We're doing a grand open next week. Come see us. God, I love you. Sorry, I can't resist. Then we got our average day coupons. Oh my God, Betty has having a hair sale, 90% off coming in next 2 hours. Great, people coming through the door. Then you got your basic general information customer service approach, where I got an appointment reminder. You text back and forth. What a lot of people are not thinking about though, when it comes to text nowadays for like the millennials, Gen Xers, and the generation below the millennials. That is pretty much your sole form of communication. Yep. So when you're texting back and forth, unless you're using a technique or a software that enables you to keep a complete log of your communications with them, you're technically doing yourself a disservice, because that's all reasonable and profitable information, because they keep a complete log of everything that you have said. Sure. Case in point, I'll tell you another story.
Oh, we have to go quick because we're running out of time. So.
I love stories.
I know. Quick story. Sorry, we're running out of time. I have to handle that.
Oh my God. I'm about to start crying. All right. Well, I'll just keep it brief. There was this guy that was made a comment to somebody. Say, hey, you know what? I don't think this worked. He placed a contest out there. Say, hey, here we get the most apps within their company. Win. He's like, okay, great. You don't believe me? That's fine. So he went out, he uploaded his entire list. He texted his entire list, say, hey, we're running a contest. I need everyone to help. I need a huge favor. Please give me a call back if you need this or know anybody that need it. 30 minutes later or next day or whatever, he has so many people coming through and say, I need apps, I need app, I need app. Da, da, da. He won the contest hands down. Mm. And it's strictly because everyone that gets a text sees the text. That is probably the most interactive form of marketing that's currently in the marketplace. Right.
Well, and the other point to the text message marketing that I want to make sure that we is a younger generation. I like getting text, so it's not that young, but we're going to a mobile device society where really, 10, 20 years from now, mobile devices are going to be the way that people get information and consume information. So thank you for that. Before we close the show, because we really literally have 2 minutes before we close the show, I want to ask, if somebody wants more information about how to get a hold of you both, where would they find that information, and how would we help you grow your business?
You want to go?
No, I'm choking. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, she's choking, folks. Oh my God. All right. First things first, they can go to ozmentmedia.com.
Okay.
And call us from there, or submit a contact form, or go to our Facebook page, follow us. If they want to reach us personally, they can go to my Instagram page, jeremiah.ozment, or my Facebook page. But I will tell you this. If you're trying to find me personally, go to Instagram, because unless I see your face personally, I'm not going to friend you.
Okay.
However, on Instagram, I accept everybody. But for professionally, what we're looking for the mom and pop shops that are technically right now very frustrated. They don't know which way to go or how to find clients, or they're just looking for some new, fresh ideas in order to be successful. That's who I'm really wanting to work with. If they're brand new, I will tell you this.
I got something to add.
Okay.
On Mom and Pops, the thing I love about Ozment Media, I can breathe now, is we do not have a contract that you sign for SEO or AdWords. We understand your pain, and a contract locks you in for a year. We understand. You will succeed, but that gives you peace of mind.
No,
I love that part.
I think that is a very smart and strategic way to do business. Now, don't get me wrong. I love to be, I don't love to be in a contract. As a business owner, I love contracts because it's predictable income. However, when you're talking about small businesses, they are not worried, necessarily about the next 5 years. They're really looking at
Next
every 3 months, every quarter. How am I meeting those numbers?
Yeah.
And the last thing they want to do is lock themselves because companies like Time Warner and Verizon, and they all want to lock them in.
Yeah.
I got locked into a couple contracts as a business owner, and it is you're just looking at it.
It's a nightmare.
It can be. It can be very frustrating. So
Yeah.
congratulations on making that
Yeah.
decision as a business, and I wish you guys tons of success. I really enjoyed having you both. I wish we had more time.
I can't talk more. I'm about to start crying.
I think you'll make it. I think you'll make it. Jeremiah, you've always just been a lot of great information and also great at
I finally
your storytelling.
got nervous.
I know. I'm telling you, this thing goes by very fast. Thank you for watching. And we do have a thought for the week. Marketing is telling the world you're a rock star. Content marketing is showing the world you are one. And that's by Robert Rose. The cost of being wrong is less than the cost of doing nothing. And that's by Seth Godin. I like that one. You really need to do something in 2018 as a small business. And I would encourage you to reach out to professionals to help you make that strategic plan. Thank you both for being here. Promise me you'll come back. This was a lot of fun. We'll have to do it again in a few months. And
Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
I'll dress her for that.
Oh my God!
we have our
help
own
me.
little mascot
Yes.
here, and happy holidays to you all. This has been DFW Spotlight on Business, and I'm Heidi Hardy. We'll catch you next week. Oh, we have a great guest next week. It's Marianne Kellum. She is the president of the Irving Hispanic Chamber. Lovely lady, and is really going to help us understand that that chamber dynamic. So
nice.
don't miss the show next week. Thank you guys, and don't forget to live your real life passionately.